Right now, live at 5, all eyes on Hurricane Delta as it prepares to make landfall in the coming hours. Plus,
what St. Louis County health experts want travelers to know before heading south for the winter.
And in Wisconsin,
a trip across the Great Lake, how one second-grade class's project was uncovered after 27 years.
And later, Red Zone Live is back. Kelly joins us to talk all things Friday Night Football later in the show.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS 3.
Welcome to the CBS 3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look at the Gulf Coast tonight, where Hurricane Delta is closing in and expected to make landfall within hours. The now Category 3 storm is bringing powerful winds, heavy rain, and life-threatening storm surge. Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Many of those in the storm's path are still recovering from Hurricane Laura. Courtney Zabowski reports from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Streets in southwest Louisiana turned into ghost towns, hours ahead of what's forecasted to be another devastating storm.
It pains me to say it, but there's going to be a window of time where public safety cannot respond to you.
Hurricane Delta is expected to bring powerful winds, heavy rains, and life-threatening storm surge from Louisiana to Mississippi.
We remain very much concerned and on guard should we need to help our neighbors.
As residents filled sandbags and boarded up windows, this Louisiana couple decided to walk down the aisle a few days earlier than planned.
Because it wasn't supposed to be coming to us, and then all of a sudden it was supposed to be coming like right to us.
Cars stretched for miles along Interstate 10 as people drove west, away from the projected impact.
They're forecasting the water may be as high as 7 feet, so we just don't take a chance.
For some Gulf Coast residents, evacuating has become all too familiar as another powerful storm heads right at the area that was ravaged by Hurricane Laura just 6 weeks ago. Lisa Perry moved to Lafayette from hard-hit Lake Charles with her family when Laura hit.
You work so hard, and you're making progress, and we're gonna get it again.
Aerial images of Lake Charles show blue tarps covering damaged roofs, while piles of debris still line many streets.
That's not going to hold with the winds that are going to be there, and all the debris that's on the ground is just going to start flying everywhere.
As Delta bears down on the region, it's already setting records. The storm is the 10th to hit the U.S. this hurricane season.
Delta barreled through the Mexican resort areas of Cancun and Cozumel earlier in the week. Meanwhile, Hurricane Laura was blamed for more than 30 deaths.
Let's check in on the weather a little closer to home now. Dave, I don't think you could have planned a more picture-perfect fall day than we're seeing today.
And boy, was it warm.
Yeah.
Tony, new record in Duluth at the airport, 79 degrees, but Superior says we can beat that. They did, 82 degrees for the high temp. And here's a live look at what's going on the north coast in Ashland. And it's a lot calmer up here than it is down south, definitely. And I think it'll stay calm through the first half of the weekend, but definitely cooler as early as Saturday. The warmth of today does not last or spill into Saturday. Right now, higher pressure brings dry conditions. Saturday will bring cooler conditions, and looming to our west is a low pressure that'll bring wetter conditions once we get into Sunday. So we take a look now at the forecast for the weekend, and tonight it should be partly cloudy with a low near 40. And then for Saturday, still mostly sunny, but the high only 55 degrees, brought down by a northerly wind. Sunday, we go back to 60 degrees, and a 60% chance of rain will come in the afternoon, could spill into Monday, and we could get some decent rain totals this time. I'll talk about them in more detail in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. It's that time of the year again when some folks in the Northland typically travel south for the winter, but the pandemic could make it tricky for couples looking to get some sunshine.
CBS 3's Leanne Valdez breaks down what snowbirds need to know before heading to their winter destination.
St. Louis County health experts say right now isn't ideal to be traveling at all, but they also know that people aren't going to want to stay in northern Minnesota all year long. So there are some things that you should know before you go. Number one is to make a plan. St. Louis County Public Health Division Director Amy Westbrook says people should research the transmission rates and what the pandemic looks like in the location they are going to. If you're driving, which Westbrook says is probably the safest form of transportation, make sure you include researching the stops you're going to make along the way. Westbrook also says there are going to be some things you need to do once you get to your destination and return from it.
It would be a good idea to quarantine yourself for when you get there in case you were exposed on the way down, and then that would apply to the trip back home.
And of course, make sure you have your masks and hand sanitizer throughout your entire journey.
Thanks, Leanne. And coming up tonight at 6, we hear from a couple who has been making the trip down south for years.
Grand Rapids High School is now on the list of Minnesota schools with 5 or more COVID cases. The high school has 7 confirmed cases. District leaders say that includes 6 students and 1 staff member. All the cases are being blamed on community transmission. The school now has 81 students and staff quarantining for 14 days. District leaders say they're keeping the hybrid learning model, but will move to distance learning if cases increase.
This all comes as Itasca County is seeing a surge in COVID-19 cases. County health officials say the increase is largely due to formal and informal gatherings that were unsafe. Officials stress that if residents want schools to remain open, they need to do their part by avoiding crowds, wearing masks, and social distancing.
The hospitals in Itasca County say they're at or near capacity most days as they cope with the surge in cases. Essentia Health and Grand Itasca both say patient numbers have been high, both from COVID and from people needing care that was delayed by the pandemic. They say they're in communication with their partners to transfer patients as needed.
Meanwhile, Wisconsin added just shy of 3,000 new COVID-19 cases today. The state, which has seen some of the highest rates in the country, just put a capacity limit on all indoor public places yesterday. That as 138 more Wisconsinites were hospitalized today and 16 more COVID-19 patients died in the last day.
New at 5, a Minnesota judge says the former Minneapolis officer seen with his knee on George Floyd's neck can live in a different state while he waits for his murder trial. Derek Chauvin posted $1 million bail on Wednesday. He was allowed to walk free from a prison where he'd been held since shortly after his arrest back in May. Saying there's evidence to support safety concerns, the judge is now letting Chauvin live in Minnesota or a neighboring state at a confidential address. Chauvin's release sparked a second night of demonstrations in the Twin Cities last night. In St. Paul, hundreds of people, including family members of Minnesotans killed by police, marched down University Avenue to the state capitol. And in Minneapolis, several hundred people gathered outside the Hennepin County Government Center.
The 16-year-old is in custody after another teenager was stabbed and found in a ravine in Ely. Ely police responded to Miners Lake around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. That's where a hiker found a 13-year-old boy who seemed to have fallen down a ravine. Police say he was conscious but confused with stab wounds and a leg injury. He was flown to a Duluth hospital. Police arrested a 16-year-old suspect who was booked at Duluth Arrowhead Juvenile Center. The investigation is ongoing.
Still to come on Live at 5, new ideas for an old building in Washburn, how the historic spot could be on the way to a new future.
And coming up at 6, how a Duluth hospital is making mammograms easy during this Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll share how and when you can get tested.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS 3. The Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
Prime Appliance had hundreds of appliances on back order due to factory shutdowns. Then in 1 week, 3 truckloads showed up unexpectedly. So we decided truckload sale with overstock prices like this. GE built-in dishwashers in stainless or slate starting at just $4.99. Or GE top mount refrigerators in black starting at just $6.29. Financing always available. Have our pros deliver and install or take it home today. Prime Appliance is the best place to buy your appliances. Let us prove it to you.
At Perkins, our burger, fries, and pie combo is back. For a limited time, enjoy any burger, fries, and a slice of pie. Dine in safely or order pickup or delivery at perkinstogo.com.
I've got one for you. See, You Care Health Plan Demystifiers and Sleeve Roller Uppers.
You Care Health Plan Demystifiers and Sleeve Roller Uppers.
Sounds so good when you say it. 96% of all providers accept UCare because they rock so hard.
96% of all providers accept UCare because they ride so hard. Can we pull over?
What's our tagline?
UCare people-powered health plan.
So good.
Clean water. Some of us take it for granted. Not me. I'm Beth Myers. I have the honor of representing you in the State Assembly. It wasn't that long ago that my family was struggling. We went 7 years without running water. The health of our families and our economy depends on clean water. That's why I'm fighting so hard against special interests who want to pollute our land and water. I'm Beth Myers, and I promise I will never take you or the Northland for granted.
Duke was a man of few words and many songs.
Let freedom
Gone country.
going down till the sun comes up.
It's 102.5.
Here's a live look from our Spirit Mountain camera. Look at those fall colors out there. It is a beautiful day across the Northland with temperatures climbing into the 70s. Well above average for this time of year. So what can we expect this weekend? Dave will join us in just a few minutes with the full forecast. But first, more relief is on the way for businesses in Lake County, plus what to do with an empty building in Washburn.
That and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. In Lake County, round 2 of applications for their small business relief grants are now open. They're encouraging any business that took a hit during the pandemic to apply. The applications close October 20th, and we have more details on our website.
A bridge is coming down in Duluth's Oneota neighborhood this weekend. Demolition on the old CP rail bridge on the corner of Oneota Street and South 37th Avenue West starts at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. The road there will be closed. The project should be finished by the end of next week.
And heading over to Wisconsin, 2 more developers have come forward with plans for an empty building in Washburn. The Broke-Down Palace sits on city-owned property on Bayfield Street. According to the Ashland Daily Press, the new proposals include retail with apartments on the top floor and a brewery. There are a handful of other proposals the town is considering. No word on when the city council will decide.
And it's homecoming week in Ashland, and the city is encouraging everyone to decorate with or Docker purple. Here's a look at the decorations downtown. The Ashland Chamber of Commerce provided some signs and even gave folks some paper to make their own. They said they know it's been a tough year for students, so they wanted to show the kids the city has not forgotten about them.
If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Still to come on Live at 5, the Friday night lights are back on. Minnesota's high school football players take the field tonight for the first time this season. Kelly Hinseth joins us with a preview of the games and how the pandemic has changed teams' routines.
Here's a live look at Jay Cook State Park, where folks there are sharing in the beautiful weather the whole region got today. Temperatures for a couple of towns did break records, but not tomorrow. Back to normal tomorrow. We'll talk about if that leads to a cool down by next weekend or not in just a couple of minutes.
Hello, I'm Steve Little with Bath Planet. For the month of October, we are offering free installation for bathtub, shower, safety tubs, and surrounds. Get your dream bathroom with free installation. As always, you can still get one of our great financing options for low monthly payments, or 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2022. This offer ends October 31st, so call us today or go online to book your appointment to take advantage of this amazing offer. Bath Planet, out of this world service, down to earth price.
Donald Trump is lying about Medicare and Social Security. Trump's pushing to slash Medicare benefits. He's proposed eliminating the funding source for Social Security, a plan that would drain Social Security by 2023. Joe Biden will protect Medicare, and he's proposed a plan to increase Social Security benefits. The choice is clear. Donald Trump will cut Medicare and Social Security. Joe Biden will protect them.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Be smart. Be active. Be confident. Vision Pro Optical is here for you. specializing in eye exams, glasses, contacts, and billing your insurance. Serving the Northland for more than 30 years with you as our focus. Visit VisionProOptical.com for hours and location details. Vision Pro Optical. Be and be seen.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
Want Columbia, North Face, or Carhartt? The only place to shop, Northwest Outlet.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's check in with meteorologist Caitlin Moffitt this morning. And the below average trend Thanks so much for joining us. So wake up with us starting at 5 a.m.
Watch Caitlin and Jenna in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m. on CBS 3. The Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS 3. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
As planned, today's temperatures got warmer than normal, especially around the head of the lakes where some records were set. Even around International Falls with the high of 72, that's much warmer than normal. The normal's in the mid-50s. And even Grand Marais by the lake technically won today because they're 3 degrees warmer than normal. But Duluth International Airport at 79, that's a fresh record, setting the old one of 76. Packing, 82 degrees in Superior today. Usually that town is cooler by the lake, but not today. They beat everybody else. And over towards Watersmeet, a high temp of 71 is still pretty decent as well, even though it's cooler than a lot of surrounding communities. Well, we go back to normal as early as tomorrow, which means the mid-50s. And by this time next week, we could be talking mid-40s. So this could be the last grand hurrah, perhaps, for summer-style weather for another 6 months or so. We can always hope, though. And hoping to look at current conditions right now, yeah, we see it's still 79 at the airport. 28% for the relative humidity is awfully low, and a westerly wind's running 18 miles per hour, so it's warm and windy. And the air pressure, well, it's at 29.56 inches of mercury, which is a little bit on the lower side, despite a high trying to conquer the sky. And so, with a warm front passing overnight last night, we did get a little bit of rain around the region, but it passed fairly quickly. And then right now, we've got the higher pressure trying to chase away the clouds and bringing us that sunshine and that warmth. But things are, of course, going to change. Tomorrow, it'll become cooler thanks to a northerly wind, so it'll still be sunny, but only about 55 degrees. Then the next interesting thing coming our way will be this low-pressure system tracking out of the west. And what makes it interesting is that Hurricane Delta working up into the central parts of the United States may pull Gulf moisture in for this low to work with, and the result then is going to be some pretty decent rains coming our way. Our next rain chance after dry conditions Saturday will come on Sunday afternoon. 60% chance for rain Sunday evening and during the overnight. And that could spill into the early noon hour or so, or the early afternoon hours of Monday. And the result, if Delta comes across with some moisture for us, could be a ½ inch to about an inch of rain. And since we're running close to a 10-inch deficit for the year, before the snow flies and the ground freezes, we could use this moisture. Let's hope we get it. Now, here's what we get tonight in Minnesota for temperatures. Lows could dip into the mid-30s up around International Falls, could stick around the mid-40s closer to Lake Superior. Clear to partly cloudy sky from that high-pressure system in place. And folks in Wisconsin and the UP will have a narrower range of low temps, going about 40 to 42. And then for tomorrow, Wisconsin and Michigan, still a beautiful day with sunshine, but highs 54 to 58. So pretty close to normal. And for Minnesotans, low 50s by the lake, mid 50s farther inland, mostly sunny sky. Keep in mind the mostly sunny sky will be replaced by clouds and rain Sunday night especially, and then through Monday morning. Temperature-wise, 55 to 60 for the weekend, and then mid to upper 50s through Wednesday. And there we go, dipping back into the 40s once we get towards Thursday and Friday. So you knew today was not going to last.
Yeah, well, but you know, a record high in the middle of October, I'm going to take that to the bank all day long.
Yeah, you just have to endorse the back of it and see how much cash
see what we can get back for it.
Yeah, let me know how that works, Tony.
I'll check in on Monday. Thanks, Dave.
Tonight is the first night of the high school football season in the state of Minnesota. For more, we'll bring in CBS 3 Sports Director Kelly Hinseth. Kelly, this has been a long time coming.
It sure has, Kristen. There's a big part of me that's still kind of pinching myself because there was a good period of time where we would not have high school football in the state of Minnesota at all this fall. But the tides have turned, teams are ready to go, and it is game time. And coming up at 10, we will have all the high school football highlights you can handle in our first Red Zone live show of the year. From Hermantown all the way up to the range, you can catch the highlights and the scores updates right here on CBS 3 News at 10. We know just how important it is this year with most games limiting attendance to just immediate family and capping the number of attendees at a certain small number, including masks and social distancing. So just stay home and enjoy the football from the comfort of your couch. Here's a list of games we will have highlights for coming up tonight at 10, if you can't already tell. I am certainly excited. It's going to be a good night. We'll send it back to you.
Oh, Kelly, and arguably, you could not ask for a more beautiful night
to
be
you really
outside watching
the football gods have blessed us.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Kelly.
An Ashland couple made an unusual discovery this week as they were taking a trip to see the fall colors near the Apostle Islands. Lynn and Michael Bebo stumbled on a small wooden boat buried in the sand just off the shore of Lake Superior. It was red, white, and blue and had a special message written on the bottom. It read, "I am traveling to the ocean. Please put me back in the water." Little did the couple know that message was written 27 years ago when the little boat was hurled into Lake Superior by a second-grade class from Duluth Lakewood Elementary.
When I dug it out and then kind of washed it off, I was really surprised, and I thought, this is really cool. And I got her attention right away, and I said, "Look at what I found. You know, this is really neat."
Really neat indeed. After the Bebos took some pictures of the boat, they put it back into the water so it can continue its journey to the sea. And coming up tonight at 10, the Lakewood Elementary teacher whose class released that boat into the water more than a quarter of a century ago explains the thought behind this special project.
Still to come, back on the campaign trail when President Trump plans to start holding in-person rallies again after his COVID-19 diagnosis.
Joe Biden isn't an epidemiologist. He's not an economist or military general. But what he is the kind of leader who listens to the experts and a candidate who has earned their support. And what he'll be is a president who leads us out of this crisis and a commander-in-chief who respects those who have served. Because Joe Biden knows this moment is not about him, but about what we can do together. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Ready, set, internet. Extreme has the speed and price to get you online fast. Stop waiting and get going for as low as $19.99 a month for a year with speeds from 60 meg up to 1 gig. Powerful in-home Wi-Fi and 99.99% network reliability. Extreme has what you need to stay ahead and stay on track. Hurry and get Extreme Internet for as low as $19.99 a month for 1 year. Dial 844-EXTREME2.
This pandemic is like an earthquake that's shaken our lives and highlighted our challenges, like helping people and businesses recover while building a stronger and more just America. And that's why I'll work with anyone in either party to get things done in the Senate. One example, I've taken on the drug companies to make lower-cost drugs like insulin available. I'm Tina Smith, and I approve this message because I will move hell or high water to do what it takes to help my fellow Minnesotans.
I'm Quinn Nystrom, and I approve this message.
Pete Stauber and our healthcare. It's like the fox guarding the hen house. Stauber took tens of thousands of dollars from corporate special interests, like the healthcare industry, and voted against lowering drug prices 5 times. Stauber even voted to let insurance companies sell junk plans that deny coverage for people with pre-existing conditions. We can't trust Pete Stauber to guard our healthcare.
Clean water. Some of us take it for granted. Not me. I'm Beth Myers. I have the honor of representing you in the State Assembly. It wasn't that long ago that my family was struggling. We went 7 years without running water. The health of our families and our economy depends on clean water. That's why I'm fighting so hard against special interests who want to pollute our land and water. I'm Beth Myers, and I promise I will never take you or the Northland for granted.
St. Anne's Assisted Living. Here when you needed us before, here when you need us now. We're open for business. Call to schedule your personal tour now. 218-727-8831.
Prime Appliance had hundreds of appliances on back order due to factory shutdowns. Then in 1 week, 3 truckloads showed up unexpectedly. So we decided truckload sale with overstock prices like this. GE large capacity French door refrigerators with ice and water, LED lighting, and a full warranty. Stainless just $17.79, white $21.49, and slate only $22.98. Financing always available. Have our pros deliver and install or take it home today. Prime Appliance, it's the best place to buy your appliances.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
With less than a month left until Election Day, President Trump is eager to get back on the campaign trail, but it's unclear if he's received a negative COVID test since being diagnosed about a week ago.
Meanwhile, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden visits another battleground state in the Southwest today. Deborah Alfarone is at the White House with more.
President Trump lashed out on the Rush Limbaugh show over reports a Justice Department-led review of the Russia investigation will not be released before the election.
I think it's a disgrace. It's an embarrassment. See, this is what I mean with the Republicans. They don't play the tough game.
The president is planning to resume in-person campaign rallies after his doctor sent a memo saying he could safely do so.
I was in not great shape, and we have a medicine that healed me.
Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden hit the campaign trail in the battleground state of Nevada with multiple stops in Las Vegas.
If we show up, we win.
Earlier this week, the president said he would hold off on negotiating another COVID stimulus bill until after the election. Now, White House officials say he has approved a revised package offer.
I would like to see a bigger stimulus package, frankly, than either the Democrats or the Republicans are offering.
Friday morning, the House Speaker announced a bill to create a commission on presidential capacity. The panel would be charged with deciding whether a president is fit to perform his or her duties under the 25th Amendment.
This is not about President Trump. He will face the judgment of the voters. But he shows the need for us to create a process for future presidents.
White House officials have called the proposal, quote, absurd, and the bill is not likely to be considered by the Republican-led Senate.
Today, the president signed off on a $1.8 trillion counteroffer to Speaker Pelosi's more than $2 trillion stimulus package. It's unclear what's in the president's counteroffer.
Vice President Mike Pence plans to make a campaign stop in Wisconsin on Tuesday. The VP will speak at a manufacturing company in Waukesha. Pence will be visiting one of the nation's top states in new coronavirus cases per capita. On Thursday, Wisconsin surpassed 3,000 new coronavirus cases for the first time. But as President Trump remains sidelined by his COVID-19 diagnosis, Wisconsin remains a battleground state. Back in 2016, Trump carried Wisconsin by less than 23,000 votes. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS 3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health. Need a flu shot? Find flu booth dates and locations at essentiahealth.org.
So you made it all the way up to the North Pole?
Yep, and the South. But I need good Medicare coverage so I can keep exploring.
Well, we have a range of Medicare Advantage plans, some including dental, vision, prescription, and travel benefits.
Can I find them online?
Yeah, absolutely. Or you can give us a call.
Sounds good.
Well, our stop is just up ahead.
So that was the shortest ride I think I've ever been on.
Yeah, quarantine legs. Gotta work those muscles back up.
Dante was killed in Pearl Harbor.
We had a very hard time getting Dante flown home to Duluth, running into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock.
Pete Stauber was very much there for us every bit of the way.
And he would look at us and he'd say, we're going to make that happen for you.
Thursday night, the family of Dante Teeny got him back.
Pete came through for our family with flying colors.
He sees the needs of the people and he fights for them.
I'm Pete Stauber and I approve this message.
What are you thinking?
Thinking about burger, fries, and some pie.
You know it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Well, then bring the pie first.
It's back and better than ever. Perkins Burger, Fries, and Pie Combo. For a limited time, enjoy any burger, fries, and a slice of pie. And always served safely. Whether you dine in, order online, or get it to go. Order now at PerkinsToGo.com.
A trip across the Great Lake, how one second grade class's project was uncovered after 27 years.
We got a one-day warm spell on Friday. By Saturday, already the temperatures will go down.
Season 2 is
The
here.
Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS 3.
Here is a live look at Lake Avenue in Canal Park. It's an absolutely beautiful way to end this week on this Friday as temperatures reached record highs for some cities for this time of year today. Here's a quick look at one of our top stories from today. Grand Rapids High School now has 7 confirmed cases of COVID-19. District leaders say that includes 6 students and 1 staff member. 81 students and staff are quarantining for the next 14 days. District leaders say they're keeping the hybrid learning model for now, but will move to distance learning if cases increase.
And tonight at 6, how a Duluth hospital is making mammograms easy during this Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll share how and when you can get tested.
Dave, some records broken out there for warm weather today, but that might not stick around, huh?
No, it isn't going to stick around,
Okay.
so I'll let you feast your eyes one more time on the high temps we had today. And yes, Duluth International Airport set a new record at 79 degrees, but Superior must have as well at 82. And look at Moose Lake, 81 degrees. Very warm, but it's not going to last. No, by tomorrow we go back to the normal of the mid-50s. So here's our extended forecast, which calls for a continued cool down as we unfold the next 7 days. We could be only in the 40s by next Thursday. Next big news, rain chance comes around on Sunday, may pay off with an inch of rain.
All right, thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at 6.